Hello, welcome to another series of Getting There. My name is Clinton Normore. I'm the Associate Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion at ATSU University. I'm joined by Dr. Darrell Burrell, who is graciously giving us this time to explore more about what this series is all about, Getting There. It is a series that's devoted to helping our audience, those who look like those who we're trying to serve, navigate the challenges of the education realm in order to become a healthcare professional. Before I introduce Dr. Burrell, I want to talk to you a little bit about AT-Still University. AT-Still University has 6 schools and more than 23 programs. We have the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. We have the Arizona School of Dentistry and Oral Health, the School of Osteopathic Medicine in Arizona, and the Missouri School of Dentistry and Oral Health in Missouri. We also have the Arizona School of Health Sciences and the College of Graduate Health Studies, the school in which Dr. Burrell graduated from. These schools are immersed with a myriad of programs, among which Dr. Burrell got his doctoral degree in CGHS, the acronym for the College of Graduate Health Studies. Dr. Burrell, thank you for the time you've given us today to talk about pathways and your particular pathway and how you can be beneficial to those who follow you. Before we hear from you, I want to tell the audience a little bit about you real quick. I must say that Dr. Burrell's credentials are extensive. Dr. Burrell is currently a professor teaching at Florida Institute of Technology, and he has 5 master's degrees and has a myriad of publications in which he has done. He has tremendous awards in which he'll speak about a little bit later. And before I'm spending too much time talking about him myself, let's hear from Dr. Burrell. Why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about your background and how you navigated the education pathway?
So part of my story is to really be honest and share with you that I'm probably an unlikely person with a doctorate degree, and that I graduated high school with a 2.1 or 2 GPA. I went to several colleges, failed out of several before I completed my undergraduate degree. Did not even get my undergraduate degree until I was 30 years old. Did a bachelor completion program there, but from there on completed all my education as a working adult. And one of the challenges was I finished AT-Still in 2010, but my story is not one that's very different of other people of color. Is I was in a program and programs that were not really very conducive for me to finish. And, I ended up being in several programs before I got to AT-Still. And one of the things that I found different about AT-Still was it was an environment where I didn't have to feel threatened as a person of color. There was an environment where the professors were nurturing. It was an environment where colleagues were supportive and not competitive. And so for me, at the end of the day, the experience worked for me. And since that time, the doctorate degree has been a passport to allow me to teach at a variety of universities, from large research universities, small research universities. It's opened doors for me in ways that I would have never thought of or would have never expected.
That's fantastic. You talk about the environment, which was one of the questions that we received previously about what the community was like at AT-Still University. We've talked off camera about that to some degree. So could you expound on your interactions, your relationships in the College of Graduate Health Studies?
Well, I think for me, the biggest difference that really worked for me was I'd been at institutions before as a doctoral student where it wasn't very student-centered. It was very faculty-centered. So the faculty didn't seem as if they were working to support the students. It seemed as if they wanted the students to work and support them. One of the things that I found very different and very refreshing at AT-Still was the faculty were not arrogant. There wasn't a level of hubris, or there wasn't a level of elitism, like prove to me that you deserve to be in this program, and if you can, then you can move forward. It was more like admissions admitted you. Now it's my responsibility to teach you and engage you and challenge you with the rigor and teach you the research skills that you need in order to get through. I found it rewarding and refreshing. I was at other institutions before where could not get a faculty member to return my email or return a phone call. You know, I had most of my faculty members, if I sent them an email, respond to me within 24 hours. And so to me, as someone who had to work full time while I went to school, it was very refreshing to realize that a lot of the challenges that my colleagues faced in traditional campus programs, I didn't have to face them because the program was laid out, the program was structured, the support systems were there. One of the things that really helped me was they had a writing center at the institution that allowed you, if you planned enough in advance, to submit your paper or even get constructive, informative feedback on your papers during the class. And I thought that was revolutionary because even though you're successful, you know, it's a different style of writing in terms of what you do in the workplace versus academic writing or dissertation writing. You know, writing a dissertation is a lot more complex than writing a master's level paper. And so having that faculty that were supportive, that gave good feedback, having that infrastructure in the university to help me as a student if I struggled was really part of the environment that I think really helped me become successful as a student of color in an environment I hadn't been in before.
That's fascinating. And I think it's interesting for our audience to know the pathways, or at least how to get to information about the College of Graduate Health Studies and for all intents and purposes, the university itself. The website for A.T. Still University is www.atsu.edu. If you want to go to the College of Graduate Health Studies, you just simply go to the right tab and click on College of Graduate Health Studies, CGHS, and it will pull up the opening page or the home page of the school. And there you can search and find more about the particular programs that you might be interested in. The program in which Dr. Burrell graduated from is now an EDD program, and it gives you extensive information about that program. We talked briefly offline about costs and how the cost of the university is indicative of those costs of other schools, and those costs are delineated in this information. If you want to learn more about the diversity office, just go to the diversity tab, click on it, and it will open up the diversity tab and give you ideas. It'll first show you the webinar series that we have, and you can go to different aspects of the diversity department in terms of scholarships and things about the programs that are offered therein. So it's easy to get to us, www.atsu.edu, to learn more about the university, and then go to the specific school, College of Graduate Health Studies. Dr. Burrell, one of the questions that came in and we talked about was client. Another that often surfaces is, well, how do you get, or why would you want a doctoral degree? What would be the purpose of having a doctoral degree? I completed my master's, or I just completed my bachelor's, I'm thinking about a master's. A doctoral degree is another 3 or 4 years of school. What would be the purpose of that?
Well, one of the things that you'll find is a doctorate degree opens doors. It presents opportunities for you for faculty consulting. And for me, I'll just tell you, in my career, it just gave me a leg up when I applied for various positions or opportunities in the leadership role to be able to show that I had an advanced level of education, that I could do an advanced level of research than a master's student. You know, one of the things that I think is important for a person of color in terms of getting a doctorate is, you know, having that high level degree affords you opportunities that you may not otherwise have. You know, one of the things that I've been able to do with my doctorate is leverage it as a scholar practitioner to present at a variety of academic forums where I might be the only person of color or one of a handful. So me having that doctorate allows me to have the same credibility as those other people in the room and allows me to add my voice. So when people are having discussions, it was challenging for me that people were having discussions about things, about people that look like me, but people that look like me weren't there to have the discussion. And so having that doctorate allowed me to sit at the table with those folks that went to prominent institutions and show them that what I learned at AT Still was credible, was viable, it was on par to what they learned at the other schools. The other thing that's important is kind of the school you pick and the program you pick. You know, there's a lot of non-traditional doctorates out there, but one of the things that was critical for me was the pedigree behind it. AT Still was an institution with a long lineage of research and history. It wasn't a new fly-by-night school. It wasn't a for-profit school. It wasn't a totally online school. I'm not knocking those schools because they give people opportunity and access, but for me, I had been in too many academic circles and heard people say negative things about graduates of those schools or those programs. Not me, these are things I heard. So for me, I was very, very cautious to make sure that I picked a brick and mortar school that had a campus and a history and a large population of residential programs and residential students. And AT Still provided that for me. And so the other thing that was critical for me was the cost. You know, when I looked at other non-traditional programs, the costs were outrageous. And comparing AT Still to it was competitive with many of the state or local institutions where I live, but it afforded me an extra benefit that they didn't, that I could still maintain my job and my family obligations and still have that dream of getting a doctorate.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic, and I think it's important that you touch on the brick and mortar aspect of AT Still University. But also, you've talked on camera and also off camera about the importance of mentorship. You talked about in the past your own that you've had, but you have been very willing and open about in our conversations about being a mentor to those young people. And by the way, we will provide you, if you reach out to our office, ATSU-University.edu, we will provide you contact information for Dr. Burrell so that he can communicate you. But talk to the audience about how important it is to have a mentor.
Well, I think one of the things that's critical is a lot of times, you know, as a person of color, you're navigating environments that maybe you haven't been in, or maybe you're the first generation to go there. So it's real critical that you not only have mentors, but you got to do a lot of research up front. If you know at the end when you get out, you want to be a faculty member at a certain school, go to that school and look at the faculty there and see what their experiences are. One of the things that I did was I looked at the profiles of people at the type of schools, and if they were part of an association, I Googled it. If they presented at a conference, I Googled it. If they were part of an organization, I Googled it. If they went to a leadership program, I looked at it. I looked at the pedigree of schools they went to, and I found that most of the people that were in the types of schools I was targeting had gone to schools that had some kind of brick and mortar campus. So for me, that was important. And then I saw some faculty members that really engaged in some research and activities that interest me. And so one of the neat things about tools like LinkedIn and the internet is you can connect with those people and start to form that relationship. But one of the things that's critical is really understanding how to navigate that relationship. You know, it's give and take. So one of the things that was real important for me, and I always stress with other people, is, you know, communication and follow-up is important. You know, if you schedule a meeting, don't waste that person's time. Make sure you show up on time. Make sure that you say please and thank you. And, you know, if you conversate or have a communication, or if they give you advice and you go out and try something, give them feedback and let them know how it went. You know, one of the things for me as I started and I actually completed my doctorate was I asked people that mentored me to come to my doctoral celebration and share it with me. And one of the things when I spoke to people in the audience is I gave thanks to those people. So for them, yeah, I got the award of getting the doctorate, but they got the award of knowing that they were instrumental in helping me. And so one of the things that I've always been an advocate of doing is reaching out and helping other people that are trying to engage in the journey that I'm going in and assisting them, but also challenging people to say, who are your mentors? You should have multiple mentors. And a lot of times we just want our family members to be our mentors, but I think we have to reach out of our comfort zone. Not all of my mentors were people of color. I had mentors that were a variety of backgrounds, and they all added insight and diverse insights that helped me kind of navigate that process. And having those mentors were very critical.
That's fantastic. Dr. Burrell, thank you so much for your time today, and all of the expert information and knowledge you have is profound. To the audience, again, thank you for your time at yet another Getting There series where you can learn about different pathways to achieving your ultimate goal. There's always a way. Again, to reach us, ATSU.edu, www.atsu.edu. If you want to reach the diversity department, specifically /diversity on the end of that. We can also be emailed at diversity@ATSU. Again, thank you for your time and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great day.